This evening, we are privileged to have Pastor Billy Register from True Life Church in Middleburg joining us to lead us in our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor Register.
Thank you, Ashley. Would everyone please stand and bow your heads, if you would, as we pray? Our most gracious and loving Heavenly Father, we thank you for your goodness, your grace, and your mercy. And thank you for the dedicated men and women of the Clay County School Board and their service to our community and to our families. We ask for godly wisdom and insight for each of them this evening and in every day of their lives. Lord, we thank you also for the faithful teachers and administrators that serve all of us. Please grant to them your encouragement, your knowledge, and your peace. We ask that you strengthen them in their daily responsibilities. We also pray for protection for each and every school in Clay County, that you would surround them in your arms of protection. This wonderful place that you've given to us to live and raise our families here in Clay County, we ask that that protection extend there as well. So have your way in this place tonight. Pour out your blessings upon everyone that's involved in the community of Clay County Schools. And we will thank you and give you glory for it as you deserve. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. If we would join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. I will now call our regular board meeting, January 5th, 2023, to order. Welcome, citizens of Clay County. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend tonight's school board meeting. This meeting is our opportunity as your elected representatives to collaborate openly and make decisions that will decide the future direction of our public schools and the education of our children here in Clay County. If you wish to address the board on an agenda item, there will be an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. Please fill out a card, which you will find in the back of the room, indicating the specific item, number, or topic that you wish to speak about, and turn it in promptly to one of our officers, as we will be to that item on our agenda here shortly. If you have items that you would like to present to the school board or the superintendent, please hand them to an officer who will distribute them accordingly. No additional cards will be accepted once the board moves to the public comment section under presentations from the audience. Your participation is always welcomed and appreciated. All right, so tonight we have a few recognitions and awards. We have Heather Tito, the Chief of our Elementary Education, to present our Art in the Capitol winner this evening. Ms. Tito?
Good evening, school board members and superintendent. As you know, every year there are many art competitions that happen throughout our state. Today, we're going to recognize one of our scholars here in Clay County who participated in the Art in the Capitol competition. She was selected here in Clay County over 30 other applicants, and it's a visual arts competition that happens here in Clay County for 6th through 8th graders. Each district can present one work of art to their state legislator, who then submits it to the state to be displayed in Florida's Capitol building from the months of March to May. And so tonight we want to welcome and congratulate a 6th grade student from Lake Asbury Elementary School, Tony West. And I think Tony, is she in attendance tonight? Tony West, here she is. Awesome, congratulations. So congratulations. We want to present this award to you in recognition of this award. Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. In recognition for this this honor and this award. So we're just so proud of you. We would just basically, this was some of the notes that the art teachers noted and why hers was selected. Her acrylic on canvas painting demonstrated a mastery of this medium The judges were impressed with the use of light, medium, and dark values in her highlighting. We'd also like to thank Mrs. Reardon, her art teacher, for her inspiration and guidance with Tony and her creativity, as well as Miss Outman, the principal of Lake Asbury Elementary School, home of the Rams, for her support of the arts. Congratulations, Tony, and we're so thankful, and we can't wait to see your work distributed, hung up in the Capitol, so yay! I know, I got a little confused there too. All right, thank you very much.
Oh, great, we have a video. Fantastic.
Good morning, Miss R. Good morning. Welcome. Come on in. Good morning, beautiful scholars here at Lake Asbury Elementary School, home of the Rams. My name is Mrs. Tito. I am the Chief of Elementary Education here in Clay County, and we're super excited to present an amazing award for the art in the Capitol, and it's going to go to Miss Tony West. Tony West. Congrats. Can you come on up here? Woo! Woo!
Tony, your artwork is remarkable. I love your use of colors and your imagination. It's really a beautiful piece of artwork. They're lucky to have it in Tallahassee. Our next recognition will be presented by Ms. Pickett, the Director of K-12, and Gregory Martin, District Leader for Academic Teams. We are recognizing our academic team champions.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome. We want to recognize some extremely smart folks here tonight. If you've ever been to an academic team match, it humbles you. You really realize how smart you are not. I think every once in a while I can answer a JV question, maybe. Varsity, not so much. So these students are amazing, and we have competitions at the junior high level, the JV level, and the varsity level. And Greg Martin is our district chair for our academic teams. He does a great job organizing those and getting the schedules out, getting questions. It's more than just showing up. I mean, those questions have to be ordered and sealed and made sure that nobody can see them, and you have to have a proctor, and it is a big deal. We've enjoyed also having here at the TTC. It's been nice that we are able to host all the matches here. We used to go to each school, but you know, it became, when you have a big high school, it's like, are we in the cafeteria? Are we in the media center? Where are we supposed to be going? That door's locked. So during the pandemic, we started here at the TTC, and it's just wonderful because after the first match, everybody knows what to do. They know the process and the procedure. So I think we all agree, and we are very thankful that we're allowed to use this venue. So first of all, I'm going to read a question, because I always do, and I'll give you a little time to try to come up with the answer. Except Mr. Martin's going to help me pronounce a word right here. How you pronounce his name?
I am pie.
Okay. So what am I? I was built as a... Students, don't yell out the answer, okay? Let's give them time to answer. What am I? I was built as a fortress in 1200 and later served as a royal residence. Subsequently, I have housed a prison, an arsenal, a mint, a publishing house, a tavern, and a hotel for the heads of state. My architecture comprises almost every style, the most recently being designed by I.M. Pye. I currently function as an art museum. What am I? We'll come back to the answer in just a few minutes. So real quickly, before I turn it over to Mr. Martin, I'd like to thank all teams. We are here to recognize the winners of the junior high and the JV and the varsity, but I would like to thank all team members for joining their academic team. We had teams from every school. I would like to thank the coaches from each school, because they do practice, and it does take time. And they have matches weekly, so they're all in the fall. So I'd like to thank the coaches. Principals have to support too, so we thank the principals for supporting their teams. And then most of all, of course, parents, because there's a lot of transportation each week, and I know you support your academic team students as much as anyone, so we'd like to thank the parents as well. So at this time, what I'd like to do is Mr. Martin and I are going to recognize first the junior high champions. So if Miss Jeanette Burley would come up from Oakleaf Junior High. They were our junior high champions. And then she's going to recognize her members.
Oh, they didn't tell me that.
Oh, I did.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Really, this is not me at all. I'm just really the adult in the room. It has everything to do with our kids, and it's a great group of students.
Do we have any here?
We have several.
Well, come on.
Let's see. I'm going to go this way so I can see their faces. Oakleaf, do you want to come on up?
Come on up, Oakleaf Junior.
It was. Went to the last day.
All right, we'd like to congratulate again Oakleaf Junior High champions. All right, thank y'all.
Ms. Pickett, we're dying to know the answer to the trivia question.
Oh, okay. Laveau, the Laveau, the Louvre. Sorry, see, that's why I can't answer any questions. The Louvre Museum. You got it? Wow, Miss Skipper, that's amazing.
It was amazing. Just kidding. District 1, Aaron Skipper. I got it right.
Right.
But
Just saying.
Oakleaf Junior is in District 2, just saying.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Hey, why does that shock you?
It didn't. I have another one if you'd like to answer another one. All right, so JV, we also have a JV season, and this year our JV champions were Fleming Island JV, and they were led by Mr. Brian Gartner. So if he wants to come on up, we'll recognize Fleming Island JV. If y'all want to come on up, then he can announce you as you're up here. If you're on the JV team, come on up. All right, congratulations. And they pretty much ran away with it. They dominated the JV schedules, so I'm sure they're anxiously awaiting their varsity chance as well. So congratulations. Uh-oh, one more picture. All right. Thank y'all, Mr. Gardner. You might not want to go anywhere, remember. All right, our varsity champions, Fleming Island High School, varsity champions. So come on up. We'll present you with your trophy. Congratulations. All right, thank you. One more group we're going to recognize. We'll recognize them tonight, but then after they compete, we will recognize them again. We also have a all-district academic team, and I'll let Mr. Martin explain a little bit about that process, but they'll be going to state in April. So when they get back, we'll recognize them again. But he's going to explain that and just recognize them here tonight as being members of the all-academic team.
I would like to thank Mr. Broski and the members of the board. One of the groups that Ms. Pickett didn't mention was you guys, and without your support, we can't do anything either. So once again, thank you. The all-county team is made up of 6 students, and they are selected by taking a test and by their competition that they did throughout the season. We keep stats on all the players, and we try to take the cream of the crop, if you will, to go down and compete. We compete against all the counties in the state of Florida, and then there's some other schools down there also that are public schools and things like that. So it's quite the experience for them. We had a good time last year. We made it to the semifinal round. That was my first year coaching down there, but I think I figured out what I did wrong, and I hope when we come back in April, we'll have a trophy to bring back to you guys. So thank you. But I'd like to go ahead and have my team come on up. And then we have members from 3 schools represented. So representing the champion Fleming Island high school team, I stole William and Derek. And then from Orange Park, I've got Kincaid and Hope. Hope is my returning player from last year. She went to state last year. She was on the team. So, and then representing Oakleaf is Amara and Abigail. Thank you. And like I said, we'll see y'all in April, hopefully with a trophy.
Yes. Hopefully, we'll have a trophy to present in May. So thank you. We appreciate it. And again, thank you for all the participants and everyone that makes the academic season successful. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Ms. Gilhousen, you may have noticed that a lot of these students were leaving really quickly after this because many of them are also in the all-county band, which has their first practice this evening. So they were double dipping, and I mean, talk about exceptional students.
I'm
Awesome.
saying, serious
Awesome.
accomplishment in the room tonight, and I know they'll make us proud at the state championship. Give them just a second to leave. Good luck to you all. All right, at this time, we will have the recognition of the 2022-2023 School-Related Employee of the Year and Teacher of the Year finalists. And we have Carolyn Krall, the president of Clay County Education Foundation, making the presentation this evening.
Hi, good evening, school board members. On behalf of the Clay Education Foundation, it's my pleasure to introduce the top 5 school-related employees and Teacher of the Year finalists with a brief video. But first, I just want to acknowledge the work our school district staff and foundation volunteers have put into the process of selecting and supporting the nominees through this process. The 90 nominees first came together back in October with a kickoff celebration along with professional development by former Teachers of the Year. They have since been through classroom visits, and earlier this week, the finalists interviewed for the top spot. So I hope you will all join us for the Apple Awards on January 26th. I placed invitations there and over here for all of y'all. There we'll announce the final winners. And really, this is our time to kind of shine the spotlight on the educators and all the excellent work they're doing in the county. We'll also have several schools there to provide entertainment and the food. And the entire event really is just made possible through sponsorship through our community partners. To date, we've had about $50,000 put into the Apple Awards, and that includes a car donated from Garber Auto Mall. So the winner, Teacher of the Year winner, will drive away in a brand new car. But really, we are just so grateful for all the work that the school district has done and our community partners have done to really wrap their arms around students or teachers and school employees in Clay County. So thank you.
We have a video prepared of all of our finalists.
There we go.
Thank you. We are so fortunate here in Clay County to have such committed and talented people investing in the lives of our children day in and day out. All right, this will be the last call for comment cards. If you have one that you've not yet turned in, if you'll please promptly give it to one of our officers. Seeing none, I'm going to move on to presentations from the audience with public comment. Our first speaker is Austin Nicholas. As a reminder, when you come to the podium, if you would state your name and your address for the record.
Austin Nicholas, I'm trying to think of 13753 Atlantic Boulevard, apartment 262, Jacksonville, Florida, representing the Northeast Florida Builders Association. That's tough to follow all of that, so, but congratulations again to everyone, because we really do have some great teachers here and students as well. But thank you for allowing me to speak today. The Northeast Florida Builders Association has significant concerns regarding these proposed impact fee increases. This is due in part to current economic conditions, as well as the fact that the Clay County Commission just implemented 6 new impact fees, totaling approximately $5,600 per house. According to the National Association of Home Builders and numerous economists, the housing market is already in a recession, which will most likely worsen this year as the broader U.S. economy slips into a recession. When you add these fee increases to the 6 impact fees the Commission just passed, they add up to almost $10,000 in new fees per home. This is going to hurt jobs and the local economy during a time that Clay County can least afford it. The construction industry currently employs more than 5,000 people who live and vote in Clay County, and these fees directly affect their livelihoods. Layoffs have already begun in the construction industry, and these substantial new fees will only make it worse. With the construction industry already struggling, this is an extremely difficult time to increase impact fees, especially when you consider the Commission just approved 6 new fees, which obviously is not your fault. According to the National Association of Home Builders, for every $1,000 you increase a home's price, 800 people are priced out of the market. This means all of these fees are making housing less affordable in Clay County during a time of rising interest rates and historically high home prices. Although I believe you have included exemptions for affordable housing, that's only part of the problem. We're facing a crisis in what we call workforce housing, where workforce employees like teachers, nurses, law enforcement, and firefighters don't qualify for special government programs and make a little too much to qualify for affordable housing. They're stuck in the middle, making too much for these programs, but also too little to be able to afford a home. The Northeast Florida Builders Association respectfully asks that you wait 1 year to begin phasing in these new fees due to current economic conditions and the 6 newly created impact fees by the county. This will give the market time to more easily absorb all these new costs. Thank you for allowing me to speak today and for your service to Clay County and its citizens. And congratulations again to all the winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nicholas. All right, our next speaker is Helena Cormier. Did I say that correctly? Again, if you'll state your name and your address for the record when you come to the podium.
Hello, my name is Helena Cormier. My address is 2839 Woodbridge Crossing Court, Green Cove Springs, Florida, 32043. Please let me just take a moment to say thank you to all of the board members and new board members for running and being elected, and I appreciate all of your hearts and just being able to speak to y'all as I have, and I know that you have the best interest of our children at heart. And I would also like to thank the school board district for everything that y'all have done involving my student and my child with the Clay High and the Clay High School's wrestling team. And I know that this is very important, and I have asked my son for permission to be able to speak about this with him being the victim. He's given permission, and we still need your help. I know that y'all are working very hard to help us, and we're in a dilemma with him being able to have a victim's advocate and the school board resource officers not having one. And even though our case is at the state's attorney's office, it is still a dilemma. And so I desperately need your help on this one for my son, and so that we can have the closure that he is desperately seeking. And then as y'all address Synergy, there was just an issue with Synergy and with my son and his 504 and the IEP and just different stuff that we dealt with last year when he was in hospital homebound and just it not transferring when he was dismissed from the hospital homebound. So the first 9 weeks of the school year, it didn't automatically pick that up, and so he wasn't getting the accommodations that he typically would have received. And so just as y'all are working with this program, just know that there are still some holes in that one that need to be addressed. And I just want to say thank you again greatly for your time and the consideration, and I look forward to being able to help with anything that I can do. And we know that it's important for our students to receive the education and be safe while they're doing it. And also just want to say that last month's meeting deeply broke my heart. It was so hard sitting here watching and just hearing about all students with Clay High School and just receiving the education and their voice, and knowing that my child is one that was not and has just suffered. And I know that's our goal. And our heart is for all of our children to receive their education, to be a voice, to be advocates for them. And, you know, that's what we're trying to do, and that's what I'm trying to do as a mom. And anyone that knows me knows my heart, and I deeply love the Lord, the people, and our community. And so I just thank y'all so much for your time and your assistance. And we still got to keep plugging on. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cormier. Next, we have Tanya Caxon. But again, if you'll come to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Hey everybody, my name is Tanya Casson. My address is on file. I am the chapter leader or chapter chair of Moms for Liberty in Clay County, and I'm here to talk to you about something that I find really, really important, and it is the biological sex and bathroom use in our schools. Lower, I'm short, can't help it.
Me too. I have the same problem.
So just, I think I've talked to most of you guys about this, and I do appreciate you partnering with me on this. But we do have some updates, and I would like to kind of bring this back to you guys and ask you guys to work on this really as quickly as you possibly can. All right, back on August 4th, I did receive an email from one of our community members that was sharing some information that they got an email from Vicki Kidwell, the leader of our teachers union. And in that letter, she had an attachment that said Parental Bill of Rights, AKA Don't Say Gay Law, and it offered some guidance to our teachers. In part, it says that Title IX protects students from harassment and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. It goes on to say that this means schools cannot discriminate against students by, for example, prohibiting access to extracurricular activities, sports, bathrooms, or applying dress code consistent with the student's gender identity. I did reach out to the school board, and Mr. Daly contacted me, and we discussed this at length. And one of the things that was making it really hard to put some teeth into it was a court case that was out of St. Augustine, I believe. Super excited to tell everybody that court case has come back. The court ruled with the parents, and that we absolutely 100% can base our bathroom and locker room use on biological sex at birth. So I'm asking you, the board, and Mr. Broski, to please take this very seriously, make it happen very quickly. We're asking that biological males use male bathrooms and biological females use female bathrooms. I know we all know what happened in Virginia and what happened to those little girls. We don't want that to happen here, so protect our daughters. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Caxon. And our final speaker for the evening is Bruce Friedman.
Good evening, all. Sometime more than 6 months ago, I came and revealed to you some of the items that were found in your public school libraries. A few of them have been removed and attended to. That process seems to have stalled. Your district reconsideration list includes 100+ titles. I've already challenged 400+ titles. Where is the rest of the information? Where are the rest of the proceeding challenges? Where is the appeals process? Anyway, tonight, as I stumbled through, poking blindly at the Follett Destiny system, looking for some more meat to share with you, I'm going to read some things. I'm glad most of the children are gone. There will be no bad words. Turn off my mic if you see fit. A book that I gave you notice of on the 19th of December called Asking for It by Louise O'Neill. Basis of this story is that it blames the victim of a rape. I'm going to read two little bits. From page 82, collapsed over the toilet seat, nothing left to throw up. She scored. He tried to have sex with her. She didn't want to. She was a sure bet, and then dry heaving. It describes a unpleasant scene at a party that is followed by this young lady suffering violently. Emma, the main character, is violently gang raped and humiliated. A boy pees on her. The rape is videoed and publicly shared. Many lives crumble. And later, much later, Emma drops the charges, and the end. There's no uplifting message. There's no warning. There's no morals. It's a dreadful piece of rubbish. Please get it out of the libraries. Tonight's special item is a book called Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian. It is nothing like any love story any of us should ever have to know. On page 7, I knew from the moment I first went swimming with some other boys, and one of those boys' swim trunks fell, I knew that I longed for other boys. Okay. Not thrilled about it, but move on. He puts his arm on my back, moving them slowly lower until they reach my, we'll call it a tuchus. I want him so bad, I want him to ravish me, I let him put a hand down my pants. Further on, I make out with him, it's furious, I kissed his parts. He's so hard. There's porn for all kinds of guys, black inches, Latin inches. He smiles, I smile. We have a layer of protection between us now. That's a condom. He squeezes some lube onto him, then onto me. I wrap my legs around him, pulling him closer to me or deeper into me because he's in me now. We thrust and grunt and sweat until we almost fall off the bed. It's in Ridgeview. Talk to your staff. Make it go away. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Friedman. At this time, we will move to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion? We are. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, there's an item that's been pulled, and I needed to. Sorry, that last speaker's comments were unnerving. Next is approval of the consent agenda. Be advised that item C6 has been modified. The media specialist job description has been removed and will be brought back next month at the February board meeting. Everything else remains the same. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as modified by the removal of the media specialist job description from item C6. Do I have a motion?
I so move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I'm sorry, motion by Mary Bola, second by Ms. Hanson. Seeing no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries 5-0.
I'm not kidding.
Sorry, give me just a minute to put my vote in. Everybody ready?
Ms. Honora, can you vote for me? Because it's not coming up on my computer. I need to refresh, I think.
Okay. All right, at this time, we will have Ms. Kidwell from CCEA give us an update.
Well, Happy New Year, 2023. I hope everybody had a chance to rest a little bit. I did not, but that's okay. I love the new year. As a teacher, it's a time when we come back and we look at our kids and they've made huge gains. It's amazing. You leave at Christmas, you're like, man, you know, I'm worried about this one, and this one. You come back and they've just matured so much in that little teeny tiny short time, and then they're ready to just tackle all their challenges. It's amazing and wonderful. It was wonderful to see all the academic teams. It takes me back, my son was on the academic team, and he always used to practice and tell me about the trains leaving the stations. It was the math team, so forget it. Like, I just stood there and went, honey. They're so smart. I absolutely agree. You know, you just stand there and you're like, you listen to them and you're like, I know how smart I'm not, because you are amazing. I look forward to working with the board, the district, for a brighter, endless possibilities of 2023 and onward, right? So hopefully it'll be even more wonderful than 2022 was. Fingers crossed.
Thank you, Ms. Kidwell. Now our CESPA update. I don't see Mr. Roberts. Okay, we will not have that this evening. Mr. Broski, your update.
All right, awesome. Since we didn't have a school showcase, I decided to extend the superintendent's update. No, we did not. We did not. But I do, let's see if we can get that.
I would not recommend starting the new year that way.
It's going to be a short meeting. All right, just a couple things. Going to talk about kicking off the second semester. We're going to talk about planning for 23-24, career and tech ed, accelerated programs, controlled open enrollment, strategic planning process, as well as upcoming events. Let me tell you, there was a lot of smiling people this morning. They were getting on school buses. There was a lot of smiling people, and they're called parents, dropping their students off at school too. It's always exciting. The school year is one of those things where it goes in a cycle. And this particularly is kind of an interesting time of year, because when you come back, I would liken it to the sports analogy that you're playing the second half. You came out of halftime, you're in the second half, and there's a lot of things that happen in the second half. In the school system, particularly for folks like myself, district staff, we have to focus on making sure that this year we finish strong, but we already start the next year, like 23-24, and that whole process starts like now, right? So I don't think people realize that behind the scenes. You can see our teachers back the day before, getting eager for students to come back, our custodial teams, our guidance, everybody excited to get it started. And I do say that starting on a Thursday, pure genius, right? To kind of ease into the school year, very much appreciated, I'm sure. In addition, we had our Tools for School event. Want to thank the foundation for their support, their strong support of our school system. I always say it takes three groups to have a great school system. It takes the people in the system to care about kids, but it also takes parents, and it also takes community members, whether it's the Clay Education Foundation, the Chamber, and others involved in our community. It takes all three groups to have a truly successful school system like we have here in Clay County. So planning for 23, 24, I wanted to talk a little bit about school choice, because we have some items coming up. One of the buzzwords you always hear is school choice, and what we want to do in Clay County Schools is provide parents with as many options as possible and let them choose what options are best for their children, right? I'd be remiss if I didn't say Karen McMillan, the coordinator of school choice, she probably has a couple other titles in addition to that, does an awesome job with our school choice department. If you ever go to our website, go to school choice, you can give her a round of applause. She does a fantastic job. So what are we talking about? We want to provide as many educational opportunities for parents so parents can choose what they would want their child to be involved with. So we're going to talk a little bit about career academies, like our health science, our automotive academies. We're going to talk a little bit about accelerated programs like ACE, IB, STEAM, as well as controlled open enrollment. So here's what I was talking about in preparing for next school year. Several things are happening behind the scenes, right? We're starting to do FTE projections. How many students are we planning to have next year? That leads you to how many teachers, what kind of staffing do we need for next year? All of those kinds of things, which also leads to our budget. All of those things start like now, right? So I'm just trying to impress that upon you, that the planning for next year has already started for next year. You can see 8th graders were engaged in career inventories to examine what careers they're really interested in, although I had no idea in 8th grade, had no idea in 12th grade, and really took college before I got to the point where I said, hey, I want to be a teacher, and kind of move forward there. But we try to bring students their interest inventories. We have college and career coaches in high schools that go to the junior highs to kind of work on, hey, what do you want to do when you come up to the big high school, to get them prepared? And then there's parents' nights that go with that. So I want to first turn to career and tech ed, because our career and tech ed department does a fantastic job. 11,000 students. So if you have 40,000 students, 11,000 of them are involved in a career tech ed program. I know you can't see what's on the left, but what I was just trying to illustrate was you could see all the programs on the left column, even though you can't read it. You could see what schools they're offered in, and you could see that this is strategically done to give the opportunity to be involved in any program that suits their interest. And Ms. Polk, Ms. Mosley, and all the teachers within that department do a great job at that. For our accelerated programs, at the junior high, we have Cambridge Pre-ACE, we have early high school, we have STEAM, and at the high school level, we have ACE, IB, dual enrollment, advanced placement, collegiate high school. So when you're talking about choice, you're talking about robust options for parents to be involved in Clay County schools. So you take a look, there are some deadlines coming up for rising 7th and 9th graders. We've already sent out invitations for them to apply for qualifying 6th and 8th graders for advanced programs. January, you're going to see a slide here in a second, all the meetings that are happening at what schools. All of this information, by the way, is on the school choice webpage. When you go to the main page, click on school choice, you can see all the information that you have in tonight's presentation. Okay, so back to it. You can see we're going out to schools in January. The deadline is February 3rd. Acceptance emails are sent by February 17th. March 3rd, the deadline for students to accept or not accept. For some students, they're talented enough where they qualify for many programs. And then it becomes a choice, like, hey, which program is better for me, better for my family, right? So I know there's another chart you can't see, but this is on there too. So if you could just envision this, this would be all of the accelerated junior high programs. Tells you what they are, whether it's the advanced coursework, the early high school, pre-ACE, or STEAM. And then it kind of has a description as well as criteria. And then it has a benefits part. So if you're looking for where do I shop to find out which one is better for my family or better for my student, it's all spelled out in one document for you on the website. That's where you can see the meetings are. You can see January 12th, January 10th. Each school has a different meeting depending on which program you're on. This information is also on the website. So then kind of working our way to high school, you can see the same sort of thing. Like, I don't know, is ACE good for my student? My student received a letter from IB, but I'm not really sure if they should be an IB student. Should they be an IB student? Should they be an ACE student? Should they have collegiate high school? What should they do? This is a great reference tool for you as a parent to look at and help make those decisions for your child. Here are the high school meeting dates and times and where and all that stuff. All that's on the website also. In addition to that, of course, we have controlled open enrollment. The statute 1002.31 kind of specifies the rules related to controlled open enrollment. One of the changes that they made is that every 12 weeks in a certain time frame, we have to, by grade level, identify at every school potential openings, right? So controlled open enrollment only used to be a one-time thing. The change in the legislation means that it's an all-year process, right? So we analyze where we're at enrollment-wise approximately every 12 weeks. So when you do that, there are some exceptions to that. That's an 80% capacity rate. School specialized programs, there are certain special ed programs that only go to certain, they're only housed at certain schools, as well as schools in their first 3 years of operation and schools impacted by redistricting, because you could see that those are things that if controlled open enrollment, if every school was involved in, for example, redistricting, was involved in open enrollment, there'd be drastic shifts that would make it inefficient to try to educate children. Right now, here are current open schools. You can see their little symbols up there now. Those are schools with seats. There's a application on the website, made easy for you to go ahead and apply for that. One misconception is for next year, because we already have some folks that have turned in controlled open enrollment forms for next year, right? We won't know where we're at until the end of the school year, right? If everybody's moving and then you're redistricting, you could see that it's kind of a moving target. So for parents that might have sent something in already and they're saying, oh, geez, I want this, I want that, May 30th is kind of the time where we say, okay, we've done redistricting, we've done this, here are the seats that are available. So we ask for patience there, but I think people can see that's kind of a logical progression that would happen. Then I want to talk a little bit about the strategic planning process. You know, exciting that we're heading into our next 5-year strategic plan, which will hopefully be formed by June. It's an all-year process in which it has major goal components, big, broad goal components, and then has various initiatives and key activities that we have underneath them. The previous strategic plan, you could see a little snapshot of it. You could see Goal 1 was developing great educators and leaders, and then there was a group of indicators underneath that related to that. So school district strategic plans have kind of like a very particular format to it, if you will. There's kind of broad goals that are formed, and then underneath it, there's specific actions which go towards the broad goals, right? So what we did was, and these were the 5 goals in the previous strategic plan. For example, developing great educators and leaders, that's kind of a no-brainer. If you don't have great people in the classroom with students, you know, that's the very basement or the very bottom of where we are, the ground floor, if you will, in education. So you could see that most of those, when you read those, you're thinking, well, okay, that makes sense. That school districts should be doing those 5 things. So what we did was there's a whole process involved. It's a whole year to get us to June. You can see the very first one. By the way, Kelly, I love that graphic. You did good on that. I love the way that slides over like that onto the first part. We sent a survey out to everybody and we said, hey, what do you think? And there was about 35 items, you know, on there. And you could see people, all kinds of stakeholders from all of our communities, you know, responded to it. You can see the vast majority, 62%, parents and guardians of students within the school, you know, responded to the survey. And when we looked at the survey, some things kind of stuck out. 87% of respondents believed the district was heading in the right direction. That's a huge one, right? Because I think that what happens is, you know, there's always people that are not happy, or there's an issue that they have with the school system. But that's kind of proof to me, because if you know anything related to right track, wrong track polling, if you get a 60% right track polling, that's killing it in polling, right? So to get 87% kind of validates the good work that's being done within Clay County schools. Now, that doesn't mean you don't improve. You know, we're in the education business, so continuous improvement is what we do and what we'll continue to do. But that's just a validation of the good work that's being done right now within the school system. You can see 93% thought we had high standards for students. 82% believed the district was safe and orderly. 58% of respondents marked it was one of the highest ones. Recruit and retain high-quality staff was one of the most chosen items as this should be a goal, right? And that would make sense to me. So when we did that, and we established, what we did next was we established goals. Like, what are the big buckets, the big ideas that our school system should be focused on strategically? And when we did that, you could see that 5 themes came out, right? I don't think anyone in this room would argue that they don't want students to be successful. That is the number one reason why the school system exists, is students. So student success. You could see the second goal or block, talent, recruitment, development, and retention. It's a lot of words to say. You got to recruit great people. You have to train them while they're here, and you have to also have methods to retain them when they're here, right? Because ultimately, we're in the people business. What we do is people-driven. You have to have great people that work in the system. So that's kind of a no-brainer. No doubt, family and community engagement is a big piece to it. And I shared these numbers. I don't know where I was with Miss Hanson and Miss Clark. Where were we? Orange Park High School at the ribbon cutting. You know, I've done this before because I'm always fascinated by it. I added up the number of hours in a year, right? If you take 365 times 24, whatever that number is, and then you take the 7 hours that students are in school and times it by 180, and then you do the math, you would see that students on an hourly, yearly basis are in school 14% of the year. 14%. That would mean the converse, 86% of the time they're with their parents. We need parent engagement. We need parents to be involved. You have students 86% of the time. It would make sense that you are the greatest resource to your child's education. Okay? Now, in all honesty, they're sleeping part of that time, I hope. Right? But you get the idea. Like for me, that was very impactful the first time I did that, 86-14. It's like, it tells me two things as superintendent. One, you better make good use of the 14% that you got because you don't have a lot. And then 86% tells me, parents, you need to be involved in your child's life and in your child's education so that they can maximize their educational experience. The fourth one that you see up there is a safe and positive learning environment. We all want that for children. That's like a no-brainer that school systems should focus on that. And then last was fiscal and operational efficiency. And we're trying to think of a broad goal that would cover everything related from the finances to the growth piece and how we handle growth and all of those kinds of things. So you can see the 5 big buckets are things that most definitely strategically school districts should be working on. Then you can see the next stop on our little tour would be group town hall meetings to get the public's input into it. And we've set them up. They're at Keystone. You can see Thursday the 12th, 6 to 7, Oakleaf High, the 19th from 6 to 7, and Fleming. So we kind of picked 3 corners, and we said, here you go. Here's 3 opportunities, depending on where you live, to give us some input. And at those meetings, we're going to ask some very targeted sorts of questions of folks after we explain the whole process. And we're going to ask really a couple things. What kinds of things should we continue to do that are successful? What are the things that we should continue to bolster? And then what are the things that we should look and consider to do within the scope of the 5 goals that we should go ahead and move into the repertoire of things that we do within Clay County Schools? So we kind of focused in on 5 goals because those are 5 things that the school district should strategically be doing. And then we're asking for input on what are the kinds of things that you would like to see done within the scope of those 5 goals, and provide opportunity for folks, all stakeholders, to be involved. So then some upcoming events, the Apple Awards on the 26th, looking forward to that. It's a nice car, by the way. That is a nice car. I checked it out myself. Didn't let me test drive it, though. Literacy Week, January 23rd, 27th, so important. You know, if you can't read, you can't learn, right? So literacy is so important. The 5-year strategic plan meetings in January, busy time there, and accelerated program parent meetings. So if I could, I just want to I don't typically respond to public comment, but I would like to kind of respond a little bit to public comment. Because I look at, school board meetings as kind of a celebration of all the work that's been done. And I'd really like to solve issues 30 days a month and not just one, right? I mean, it seems kind of silly to wait and only solve problems on one day. I want to solve them all month long. I would say a couple things right now to address one speaker. The school district's current practice is that that the sex assigned at birth, that is the restroom to be used. But if there is a problem in which a parent wants to need special accommodations for their child, we work through administration and have done that successfully. But that policy that speaker spoke of is the current practice of our district. I've also would like to address, books. I'm really not sure what else to say because I feel like I've done this like a couple of times. I've talked about books. I feel like I talk about books all the time, right? But I would say this, our district has been one of the most aggressive in the state of Florida in dealing with this issue and will continue to be aggressive. The process has been laid out. It's very simple. All you have to do if you think something is objectionable for any reason is fill out the challenge form. That's all you have to do and turn it in. From there, the book is removed from the shelf pending a review. A committee made up of parents and others review the book to make a determination. In addition, we went one step further. We created a process by which if a parent does not want their child to have access to any books within the library or restrict certain books from the library, they can go ahead and submit that and do that also. The total control of the book issue is in the hands of parents who then know what's best for their family. So if there is a book that somebody says, I don't like this or I don't like that, the process has been laid out in which to deal with it. So all you have to do is fill the form out, and there you go. We'd work on it, okay? And then to the other speaker that's present, I will call you tomorrow, and we'll about the victim's advocate and all of that. I think that's it for me. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
You can clap. Thank you.
You can clap now. Please and thank you. All right. We do not have any special action, HR special action items. So at this time, we will hear from the board attorney. Nothing from him. So school board member remarks. We'll start down here with Ms. Hanson.
Before I was a school board member, I sometimes would sit with the crowds and think of ways to complain about how the school board maybe wasn't doing everything it could, or wasn't hearing parents, or perhaps wasn't doing enough with the money that we have. But I have to tell you a story about a front office. So you can climb a mountain and look at the other side and it be a barren wasteland. But sometimes you could climb a mountain and look at the other side and you see a majestic forest. What I realized before I was a school board member, that when I hear these big amounts of money being spent on, let's say, redoing a front office, I would say, well, it's really not worth that much money. I can't believe they can't get it done cheaper. But let me tell you, I witnessed something that changed my mind. I went to the Orange Park High School front office ribbon cutting. And I know to some people that might sound, why would you go to a ribbon cutting? I'm so grateful that I did. This is what I learned. The people of Clay County work so hard and they love their jobs so much that you can redo a front office and reinstill a spirit of love for teaching and for kids. The mascot was there. The cheerleaders were there. People from all over the county were there. So what the county does, they are lifting spirits of the people at the schools. The building's 60 years old, and when I walked in, I could tell that the people of Orange Park High School felt differently about their school. And that means a lot to me. And I thought you should know that sometimes you climb a mountain and you don't know what's over there, but we can expect the best most of the time.
Thank you, Ms. Hanson. Ms. Clark?
Well, to add to that, I would like to say it was all beautiful. And Principal Gunder talked about more furniture. That is not in the budget. Sorry.
No furniture.
No, just kidding. Yeah, no, it was great. But we've had a few events to go to, and January is very full. So I would like to comment also regarding NEFPA and comments tonight. I'm probably the last person that wants to see an increase in millage rate, sales tax, impact fees, but I do know that to compare construction this year with last year, the year before, is not fair. When you come off an unrealistic high and try to get back to the norm with construction, there probably are going to be some layoffs because they were going so full steam ahead. It was just crazy, and we all saw it and we all heard about it. So when it comes down to, I think the BCC did 5,600 in impact fees, and they've got a 90-day moratorium. And ours, I think, is somewhere around 867. And if you present a buyer with a house at 350, and now it's 350, 867, I don't really think that's going to deter them. And obviously that money isn't anything of what we need to do the schools that are necessary to make it a desirable area. Gone are the days of Barney Five and one bullet in your pocket, because now we have many needs to take care of employees, students, parents. And it always goes back to that old saying about the rising tide lifts all boats. When you've got new homes coming in at a great value, the people that already own homes, due to the appraisals, theirs actually go up in value too, if you think about it. So if we're going to want good roads and everything that the other counties have, when we're already so far behind, I don't think that this is a bad decision to have to make and to enforce. Anyway, one of my complaints, and I'll probably get shot for saying this, but if it comes to impact fees, I would like to see the contractors, the builders, not do a cost plus, but just do a cost. Don't put your profit margin on top of that impact fee if it's that concerning to you. So that's my little 2 cents there. Regarding the Orange Park High, the one thing that I did miss, because we talked in the workshop a bit, but we've got such wonderful students. We walked into ViStar, we see our students, we go to different Raise Across America, and we see the Oak Leaf drill team. They're everywhere doing great things. And the one person that I missed at that celebration was the class president, Isabel Carter. Isabel managed to win also the Miss High School Sweetheart. And I don't know when Clay last had one, but her volunteer hours 3,845. I mean, if you calculate that, that's a lot. And I think the next person also did a huge amount, but nowhere close to Isabel. And I really miss seeing her there because I really wanted to talk to her and congratulate her. But we've got a lot of special students along with our special teachers. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Isabel.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Ms. Skipper?
I just want to follow up as Ms. Clark with the impact fee. I've always been a huge advocate against fees and taxes, and I just want to be clear as well that when you're looking at the growth in Clay County alone, we are surpassing literally every county in the state. We are, I'm pretty sure we are the number one in growth, and we can't keep up. And we're what? Ninth. Okay, I know we're really high, and our infrastructure is essentially with our schools, and you saw how many actually have seats. The thing is you can't build the same school or a school for the same price you did 17 years ago. And that's the last time that impact fees were raised for our school district. And I know that you guys have raised your fees. So when it comes down to our kids, and I call them our babies because I'm a mom, they're my babies, and we're looking at portables. I'm going to beat that till it's a dead horse. But when we're looking at our portables and our infrastructure, I can't take it lightly. So it's something that I feel has to be done, and I agree with Miss Clark's statements. So I hate it, but our kids are our focus. And then I also hear you parents with the books and bathroom policy. I want you to know that I hear you. It is a process, those books. Tallahassee, they're trying their hardest as well. So, but I agree. Why are they here? Why is that? Why is it subject to our children? So I hear you.
My
I'm
turn?
sorry. Thank you, Ms. Skipper. Ms. Bola.
I'm passing out information about the Master Board Program with Florida School Board Association. I know we all received emails regarding that from FSBA, and I personally would like to encourage us as a new board. Ms. Clark joined us 2 years ago. How long have we been on the board together, Ms. Clark? I don't either. It goes so quickly. And then with 2 additional new board members. This is something that is sponsored by FSBA, including the superintendent, and provides us the opportunity to work well together, to learn each other's interests, to collaborate. And I think it's a huge opportunity for us. So I would like us to consider that. I'm not certain if this is something that we have to vote on per se.
Mr.
Or
Bicker, do you have guidance on that?
do we need to vote on going towards a master board, or can we just, in essence, do an agreement?
I don't know that it's any different than going to an AFSBAA conference. I understand that it's a whole different magnitude of things that are done, but I think that the process is the same.
Okay, great. So
Can I?
go ahead.
So I'm in agreement with you. I have been through this process once before with a previous board. I think Ms. Bola, you were as well.
Yes.
And I think it was very valuable to have have an opportunity to have conversation about things like process and priorities and conversations that need to happen in order for a board to run effectively and efficiently. So that's just my personal experience. I would be in favor of this. My request would be that we do it during the summertime.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So do
And it
you,
would have to be obviously scheduled as well with FSBA. I have
Right.
no idea how many boards are going to be going through this.
right.
So.
So if you all want to take some time to consider it, look over the information, and we can talk about it at our workshop, would that be,
Is it in the budget?
Dr. Legutko would answer that question. At the next workshop,
She
would you guys
doesn't
be
have
ready
the
to talk
paper.
about it
Yeah.
then? Okay,
I'll get you a copy of this.
all right.
Thank you. Thank you. Unfortunately, I could not be at the ribbon cutting yesterday because we were interviewing the 5 finalists for Teacher of the Year. We have some phenomenal teachers in this county. And Melissa Matz, who is our current Teacher of the Year for Clay County and also the State Teacher of the Year, was sitting there. And one of the things she said in our discussion was that she has been all over the state. She has literally witnessed other schools. She's gone into classrooms throughout the state. And she said, "You have no idea how happy I am to be here in Clay County and what a wonderful county this is." And it was one of those bucket filling sorts of comments that truly meant a lot, not just to her, but to everyone who was in that process as well. But I did see pictures, and Mrs. Ellis, I just wanted to give you a shout out, kudos for Orange Park High. I know this has been a long time coming, and from everything that I saw, it looks absolutely awesome. So congratulations on a job well done. Tomorrow night, we're going to be celebrating an Elevation Academy graduation here, and it brought up Bannerman Learning Center and the opportunity for us to serve a Christmas lunch to the students at Bannerman. And the food from that Christmas lunch comes from all the faculty. And the students that came through were incredibly awesome. They were so thankful. They had a great time. We had a great time getting to see them and meet them. And
It was your glasses.
it was my glasses. I wasn't even wearing my Christmas hat, but the glasses were good, yeah. And I did get a number of comments on those, so felt good about that. Also, was before Christmas, was able to attend the Special Olympics at Ridgeview High with our high school, our upper grade students, our junior high and high school students. And here again, just incredibly heartwarming opportunity for students to just get out and have fun in competition. And in their statements, whether I win or lose, I'm just going to try my best. And it was just awesome. Tools for Schools yesterday. Wow. And a Keystone. I missed the Keystone one, but I went to Garber Auto Mall yesterday. And I cannot thank that organization enough for everything that they do. Seeing the teachers come through and pick up materials and pick up stuff that they need. I mean, shoot, you run out of materials halfway through the year. And the foundation has set up 4 different opportunities for teachers to pick up materials for their classrooms, which is priceless. And seeing I believe it's an Impala, if I'm not mistaken, a Chevy Impala. Malibu, I got the wrong name. A Chevy Malibu with Clay County Teacher of the Year on the back. And I thought, and they truly, literally hand over the keys and say, it's yours. Not here, start paying the taxes, not here, do whatever. And they give a check to the school-related employee of the year as well. So huge, huge thanks to Garber Auto Mall for all that you do for us. And when I was talking to a couple of guys who work there, and they were like, you have no idea how happy we are to do this and how exciting it is. So thank you to them as well. One other shout out, I'm just decided that this is a New Year's resolution, and I'm going to shout this out at every school board meeting, but if you have children between the ages of 0 and 5 that live in zip codes 32043 or 32073, sign them up for free for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. The books are all very tame. They're all very good. They're all very age appropriate with age appropriate information. It is a parent's choice, which is exactly what I love about Clay County. Parents have all sorts of choices in this county, whether they want to have a child go to an IB program or an ACE program, or whether they want their child to pick a book out of the library or not. It is a parent's choice, which is ideal. But this particular program gives the opportunity for children to gain 60 books by the time they are 5 years old. And to be able to say, oh, I'm sorry, you're 5, you've aged out of the system, I mean, it's huge. So definitely, here again, Clay County Education Foundation, along with DKG sorority, awesome information. I do believe that's it. I'll stop talking. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bola. I'm just sorry I don't have a 5-year-old in my house anymore.
know it.
I'm in that zip code. Well, I don't think I have anything further to add. I just hope everyone had a nice, restful holiday season, enjoyed with friends and family, with thankful hearts for all the blessings that we enjoy here in Clay County and in the state of Florida. I know for me personally, going back to school this week was such a nice reset. It was like everybody came back fresh and excited to see each other. Kids were excited to see teachers. I got lots of, oh, I love you, Miss Gilhousen. I missed you so much over the break. And that's always sweet to hear. And of course, we hear about all the things they got for Christmas that they're all excited about. So it's been a sweet week at school. And I know teachers and students and parents especially are enjoying this week. So with that, we will adjourn our meeting.